They fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
Love to have you.
What's up, my peoples?
It is March.
Oh my God.
And
damn.
here we are.
I know. Jesus Christ. Daughter's birthday is in a month, and all she says is, it's my birthday. I'm like, no.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hold up.
But she's like, no, but it's my birthday.
Well, she's a girl. I mean, they do birthday months.
Yeah, it's like birthday.
True,
it's
true.
her birthday
Yeah,
year right now.
yeah.
We're a mid birthday year.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
I know.
Her birthday's Saturday. Yeah.
Probably because we went to a birthday party and she's like, "Oh, it's my birthday."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Shit, I gotta buy you stuff now."
We just wanted to give a shout out to our Patreons. A lot of new members there, and we really appreciate it. At the end of the episode, we'll give shout outs to individuals because there's a lot. But tonight we are doing Amelia Earhart.
Wow, that was unscripted.
Amelia.
We were both like,
Amelia Earhart. Do you guys know a lot about this story?
not really. I know that
No.
she was. I'm a fly across the ocean.
Yeah, that's about all we know.
This
in
one's
like a prop plane.
this one's kind of cool because it's a lot of the theories are she shipwrecked and she lived out her life in a cave, kind of like
it's
castaway.
It's castaway. It's like lost.
Yeah, and she just never was found. And there's just a lot of weird allegedly.
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 Get into
Yep.
that.
So there's a lot of cool stuff, and then it's really more of a mystery episode. You know,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of conspiracies regarding it, but there's some.
I mean,
You know, there's one where people think that she was a spy for Roosevelt, and she was trying to spy on the Japanese.
Oh, I see.
Because this is the late 30s.
Oh, and they would be
So we're
like,
kind
it's
of
just a
getting
woman,
towards the
whatever,
war. Yeah.
like, whatever.
Exactly. So there's some there, you know. So we'll dive into it though, you know. Amelia Mary Earhart was born on July 24th, 1897 in
Holy
Kansas.
Damn.
She grew up alongside her sister Grace. Her nickname was Pidge. Their childhood in Kansas was filled with adventure, exploring the neighborhood, and engaging in activities like climbing trees and hunting rats with a rifle. This is what you do in Kansas.
I mean, they're still doing that in Kansas today. Like, they're hunting rats, and there's no TV.
What does that mean?
There's a payphone, and that's it.
Okay, first off, where do you begin when you hunt a rat?
All the Kansas people just unsubscribe.
Dude, bro, I've hunted a rat.
Really?
And it was.
Living in your own house.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And let me give you the quick story.
Do it.
Because like
Absolutely.
literally like
Hunted
I had,
with your
I-
gun?
No, with my hands. And I was wearing gloves.
Okay, sure.
I told my wife this, like, it was like 2 years after it happened. We moved out of that house, and I finally told her. Because I couldn't, she could never know. We'd had to move that day.
Absolutely.
So she was at work, and I was at home, and I just made like food. And I think I made tacos, and I had the pan with the taco meat still on the thing, and
Yeah.
I'm like, full, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was awesome. I love tacos. And I walk into the kitchen to put my plate away, and there's a fucking rat like sitting on the fucking stove, like
He's
looking
just
at
staring
me.
you
And it's
down.
huge. I was like, what the? And like
Was
we
he
like,
just dead eye with you? Just
dude, there was a moment we were staring at each other,
What's up?
and he's
What's
like,
up, homie?
he's got his little hands up, and he's like, his hands are moving, and he's
like
probably
T-Rex hands.
He's
They're
thinking,
so
he's
crazy.
like, oh shit. This human just found me. And he's like, he's probably looking at my taco meat like, oh, so close. So I'm like, fuck. And so I put my plate down. And then I like slowly moved to the right to try to get the broom. I don't know why a broom thought that was going to work.
Yeah.
And he dips. He like instantly dips. I'm like, fuck. And my wife's coming home in like an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God. So I'm
Goes behind the stove
He goes
or
behind
what?
the stove.
Okay.
And I'm like trying to like spear
worst
like,
place.
Spear him out.
The worst place.
And then he goes behind my pantry and I'm doing that. And then at this time I'm like, fuck it, I gotta get gloves. So I get gloves. Luckily he's still there. He then runs and I like dive at a miss and he goes into my guest room. So then I already had rat traps because we had a rat problem in the garage. So then I set up 12 rat traps in the room and I turn the lights off and I close the door.
Are these the old school ones?
Yeah.
Where they,
Oh yeah. They're like plastic
yeah.
ones.
Yeah. Okay.
We'd killed many rats with these.
Plastic ones?
No, they're like hard plastic and dude.
Oh, okay.
Dude, there's
It's
I had
the
like
inertia. Like,
dude, I had like
yeah.
rat corpses in the garage from these fucking things.
Rat King.
So then he's not coming out, and then my wife's calling me. She's like, "Hey, baby, I'm leaving. I'll be home soon." I'm like, "Okay."
It's like a sitcom.
Dude, I'm freaking. I'm sweating. So I'm like, "Fuck it." I go in there, and I got my gloves on. I got a hammer, and then I'm like, "Let's go." And then he ends up getting out. Then he gets into our room. So he's underneath.
Oh,
he's
gross.
underneath our bed.
Gross.
And I'm throwing shoes at him to try to get him to leave, to move. So he finally skates out. I grab him, and dude, I shit you not, like the rage. I'm like,
Grab him with your hand.
with the glove.
With the glove.
I'm by the tail.
Ugh.
I got him by his huge rope tail while he's trying to escape because I was like throwing. I'm like, I'm gonna just hit you until you die.
Yeah.
Gross.
And I literally went outside and I fucking smashed him on the concrete, dude. I was so
Just swinging by the tail?
pendulum. Yeah. Oh, dude. And then I like fixed the house real quick, and she came home and she was like, "Why are you sweating?" And I was like, "I was doing push-ups." I told her I was doing, I was doing a little push-ups.
Little workout.
It's like I was just jerking off. No big deal. It's like better to have that.
Yeah, that's right.
Literally,
More believable.
I just came. Stop asking questions.
Oh my gosh. All right.
So that dude,
Rat
and
killer,
and then 2
yeah.
years later, I told her, and she was like, we would have moved.
Yeah.
Instantly. I'm like,
Yeah, that
"That's
was a
why I didn't
smart
tell
play.
you."
Wow,
Anyways,
okay.
Amelia Earhart.
All right.
So
yeah, back
I'm
to
from
Amelia.
Sean,
I'm from Kansas.
Yeah, Sean knows what it's like to hunt rats. Now they were apparently hunting rats with a rifle, so I don't know the difference. But
Much
yeah.
funner.
Yeah, it sounds dangerous because I would just swing the rifle and pop, pop.
It's like a what's his what was the VP who got shot?
Oh gosh.
Oh, Cheney?
Yeah, Dick Cheney. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so what a great moment.
Hunting
in history.
accident.
Yeah,
Wink,
yeah.
wink.
What a great moment in
I
politics.
know, it's so stupid. Hunting quail and I got shot.
So the Earhart family relocated to Des Moines, Iowa in 1907, where they eventually settled permanently. And during this time, Amelia and Pidge, they received homeschooling from their mom. Financial difficulties arose for the Earhart due to the father struggling with alcoholism, and he had to retire early because he was an alcoholic.
Because he had the shakes.
Yeah. And then the grandmother of Amelia passed, and so then that entire estate went to her and her family.
Oh, okay.
So she
Oh, so
kind
they
of
lived-
came into a
okay.
bunch of money, essentially. So
Little
that
trust fund baby?
a little bit. And so what happened is she was then able to go to good schools, and she was then able to nurture her interest in science, and she even was able to get her first plane and get into the aviation.
Wow.
Hear what I mean?
Let us buy a plane.
Yeah.
Fucking
No big deal.
Yeah. Amelia's fascination with aviation deepened over the next couple of years. Her first flight occurred in Long Beach in 1920. She piloted World War I ace Frank Hawks. And so the experience ignited. That was her first, like,
Oh, she
I
was like,
love
"This is
flying.
the shit."
This is amazing. These are propeller planes.
Oh, no,
These are-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is
Old school.
kind of scary.
That's when I
to be
say
honest.
prop plane, that means propeller plane.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
She started working various odd jobs, truck driving, photography. She saved up enough money to do flying lessons. And then in 21, she took her first flying lesson.
I love that she had her first flight before having her first flying lesson.
Yeah. No, she was a passenger.
Oh,
like,
okay.
with-
I
with
thought
an
she
ace.
was like,
yeah.
like she like snuck in, like, fuck it. It's right.
6 months later, after doing the lessons, she purchased her first plane. And it was a bright yellow Kinner Airster biplane named the Canary. Now, I don't know how much the planes cost them.
I mean, this is probably like $16.
Yeah, but like,
Still expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what era.
You could,
Fucking plane is a plane.
you could buy a Cadillac back then for like
Yeah.
$20. Or
but even if I
$15.
went and took lessons in 6 months, I'm probably not going to be able to afford to buy my own.
I mean,
No.
in 6 months, you're not going to be able to afford the lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shortly after, she set a new altitude record for female pilots by ascending the Canary to 14,000 feet. But what's crazy is she set that record before she officially had her pilot's license.
Oh, it was like her test flight. Like it was
Like
before
one of her lessons, or
In her lessons.
Yeah, I
in
feel
one
like
of her
they give you like
lessons,
the solo, and you're like,
Yeah.
hey, survive, and you
It
get-
would be like you know how you jumping out of a plane, you need to do X amount of jumps
before you go
Oh,
solo.
yeah,
If you do solo jump,
So it would be like her breaking breaking a record with your tandem partner.
I see. Okay.
Somehow.
Oh, there's a guy in there who's like, I'm gonna save us if
Yes.
in case some shit goes
Yep.
down.
She was super determined, and it paid off when she earned her pilot's license in 1923. She became the 16th woman to get a pilot's license.
That's crazy. What a crazy stat. I'm the sixth. To be the 16th person to ever do anything is
know.
amazing.
yeah.
The following year, though, unfortunately, they ran out of money. And
It's also the Great Depression time.
yes, true. Yes.
yeah.
They had a few bad investments. They bought a plane.
Just a few
different
bad-
things like that. She was forced to sell her plane. Then she sought employment as a teacher, later a social worker. Despite the shifts in her career, she continued to, on the side, do aviation. She finally, it stabilized her financial interest, and then she started working in operations at Denison Airport in Massachusetts. And in 1927, she flew her first official flight.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So, yeah. So she started to become a little bit, I don't want to say famous, but she got in the news. She started to get a little visible because she was like a daring woman.
They're like, can you believe it? She's
Yes.
out of the kitchen and
Yes.
she's in the plane.
I was hoping for this accent to come out.
Oh my God. Look at the look above. She's flying. She's amazing.
So it was the time of daring aviation, right? Because it wasn't really mainstream, but it kind of was, and it was getting bigger and bigger. And
The first guy to do like a loop-de-loop, and they're like, holy shit.
yeah, like first pilots are there were air shows. Like we don't
Yeah,
we have them
exactly.
now, but not really.
No, it's
You
like
know?
the Blue
Yeah,
Angels.
really.
We got like the Blue Angels
have
now.
some. I love going to the air show.
When was the
here.
last air show you went to?
I mean, the way Jorge
You
was
know,
talking, it was like
I know.
recent.
No, I go to them.
He's like, I just finished selling one of my mattresses.
And it was at the air
It's
show.
fucking free. We have.
It's not free.
Yes, it is.
The air shows are free?
Yeah, the McDale Air Force.
How do they make money?
They sell all kinds of shit in there.
Oh, that's what they get. Like,
Yeah.
you buy a
They
little
used to,
tchotchke.
they used to, they used
like
to
the
do them every
$40
year.
hot dog, yeah.
I used to go every year, but
Really?
now, yeah, but now they ran out of budget. They do it every 2 years.
I know that they were into some bad investments.
Okay, well I stand corrected. They still have them now.
And they're badass.
Yeah. So, but what she kind of caught on in the news was she was really a woman, and it was a female pilot. So a lot of the pilots were ace men, and you know that sort of thing. And it wasn't really in World War I. There wasn't like there wasn't really an air force.
No, it wasn't
much.
really that strong.
They were like aces, but they were like propeller planes going 48 miles an hour.
I know, and
and,
they're shooting like 9mm bullets. Like a little handgun that's like
Yeah.
taped to the fucking.
And there's a famous German ace, but he was famous for his scarf, and it was all red. But it just shows how slow you're going.
I know it's goes
You can see the dude's
because there's
scarf.
no top. It's
Yeah.
like just flying.
Yeah.
I know they're going like 60 miles an hour. Like in the air.
This caught the attention of pilot Wilmer Stutz, who offered her a role in a transatlantic flight as a log keeper. So she was
in the back with
plane,
like a fucking
but she was just keeping
notebook?
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is flying across the Atlantic Ocean.
But how do they have enough gas going so fucking slow?
They would just have cans, big.
Oh, and
cans.
they'd be like fueling.
Not even
shit.
kidding. Yeah,
No
big,
way.
huge.
Amelia, get on the
barrels.
wing, fill it up.
Yeah, they had barrels. And that's actually really important for her later flight. Is how much gas did she have?
Oh, what did she have to like put it on like put like a rubber band around
mean,
like
I
around the
think
thing and
it's
then go out there and
I
like
think
Let the AI
top
take
her,
over.
top her up. Yeah, the AI, like the first autonomous vehicle was like
The flight was successful, and it took off from Newfoundland on June 17th, 28, and it landed in South Wales, which was 20 hours later. So that was a 20-hour flight across the Atlantic.
Wow.
Now it's about 4.
yeah.
Yeah.
New York to Dublin is like 5.
That's pretty quick.
No,
I didn't know it was that
it's like 6. Yeah, like you're like it's like dude, it's 5 hours to get to California, bro. It's like what the fuck are you talking about?
Still, 6 hours, that's pretty quick.
6 hours, yeah. Okay. Compared to 20. That's the point.
Yeah, we're also going 20,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Although she didn't pilot the aircraft, Amelia Earhart became the first woman to fly nonstop across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, that's what, like the big famous.
So that was what she got. Upon their return, they received a ticker tape parade in Manhattan, and President Coolidge came out from the White House.
Ticker,
Oh, wow.
ticker tape.
Ticker tape. So all this
The hell's
little. Just imagine there's all the confetti.
Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and it's just everywhere.
Oh, and this
Yeah.
is Coolidge. So
This is President Coolidge.
this-
It's right
okay.
before Roosevelt.
yeah.
Yeah. Embracing her newfound celebrity status, Amelia used her influence to promote female aviation. Through celebrity endorsements and her own image, she was able to finance further flying endeavors and even became an associate editor for Cosmo magazine.
She used her platform, as they say nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
She collaborated with Charles Lindbergh to advocate commercial air travel.
Oh my God, Lindbergh wasn't.
Yeah. By 1940, she became the VP of National Airways, which later became Northeast Airlines.
Oh wow, damn.
So this is the birth of U.S. or of air travel.
Yeah, like a commercial
Yeah,
air travel,
exactly. Yeah. During this period, Amelia achieved numerous record-setting feats. In August of 28, she flew across North America and back. In 29, she participated in competitive air racing. In 31, she set a new world altitude record by flying some crazy plane to 18,000 feet. The same year, she married George Putnam, who pursued her persistently after his divorce in 29. They didn't have any children of their own, but she had stepchildren.
Isn't it wild? I just think, especially in that type of plane, you're just pissing yourself, right? Like,
Yeah,
you're,
in buckets, in cups, or yeah.
Well, how did she?
Little, yeah.
That's just-
Like a little bottle
Because
or
like,
something.
it's. I mean, it's easier for us with like a penis. You
True.
know, you can aim it, but like, like how does?
I'm assuming.
They probably have like a little apparatus in there that like.
Yeah, no, it's like a bedpan.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
But how about your pants? I don't know. I'm just saying it's gonna be difficult.
I mean,
it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah.
I thought they all.
Good point.
I thought they all wore
Fair
like the
point, fair
fucking
point.
Top Gun jumpsuits.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I, like. Every time imagine someone flying, they're in like a coverall.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You know, I guess the women had it harder. I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I mean,
piss
a little
yourself.
Just
bit.
piss yourself. Yeah, fuck it.
You have to.
You better.
No,
you
they're not pissing themselves.
No,
That's
you
20
have,
hours.
You have to poop before.
Did she shit herself?
Yeah,
too?
you have to poop before. You cannot. I guess you like throw it out the top because there's no.
You're not throwing anything.
Whoa!
My
she,
guess.
She had to take off early, and then
Here's
she
my
had,
guess.
She had her coffee, so
Oh yeah, the god, you have a cigarette. And, oh fuck,
Yeah.
no, it's happening.
it's happening.
Guess is that it's some sort of bedpan, and then there's a chute,
Oh, at the bottom, it's like fucking.
and then you just dump it out.
That's like flying over, you know.
That's my
like
guess.
Flying
I-
over
I
rural
just
Missouri,
imagine
you just
shitting
get hit.
yourself.
You get hit with like a turd in the head, like fucking randomly. Like fucking, a turd goes through your windshield. Like fucking,
I mean, it's got to land somewhere.
right? You're like, what a lovely day, honey. Yeah.
From that altitude, the gravity's like pulling it, fucking missile, fucking turd missile.
Turd missile. Turd missile is really compact. Fucking turd missile.
Okay, now here's just a strange little excerpt, and I think it's important for later. It may lend itself to one of the conspiracy theories.
Sure, yeah.
On her wedding day in 1931, the bride, Earhart, handed her 43-year-old groom, George Putnam, a letter. And this is what the letter said. Tell me if it's weird to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's already weird.
Yeah.
I'm already scared.
You must know again my reluctance to marry.
Damn.
My feeling that I shatter thereby chances in work, which means so much to me. In our life together, I shall not hold you to any medieval code of faithfulness to me, nor shall I consider myself bound to you. Similarly,
Yeah, when I'm on the flight,
I may have to keep some place where I can go to be by myself now and then, for I cannot guarantee to endure all the confinements of even an attractive cage.
Wow. So she's
Can you
pretty much-
imagine receiving this letter the day of your wedding from your wife? You're like, well,
I'm like, annulled. She's like, look, I'm gonna do me,
Yeah.
exactly.
and you can do you too.
Now, here's what I suspect, or here's what I think, I guess, is that he really pursued her so much that she finally kind of
she was just, like, reluctant. She was
Okay,
like,
this is a
fine.
good play for me.
Yeah.
Well, and also like back then, it was like
Yeah.
you know,
She needed the money.
Yeah.
She needed the...
Yeah. She was like, he was a co-signer on for the credit score.
Yeah.
on the plane. He
Yeah,
co-signed the plane.
like, I need you here, but you can do whatever you gotta do. I need you for one purpose only, to further my career.
Isn't that weird? Anyways, I thought it was a weird...
It's super weird,
I thought
especially-
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
30s?
or the day before your wedding. That's super weird.
Yeah. If there's a motive, I guess...
No, but I feel like back then promiscuity wasn't really like
That's what I was
a
gonna say,
hot
yeah.
item.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, it's like ooh Tinder, blah, fuck everybody. Yeah. But like now, back then, the 30s,
And
it was like super
especially
taboo.
with marriage nowadays, everybody's like, whatever. But back then, it was like you
So wait a minute.
gotta be married
So
if you're
wait a
together.
Really taboo.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you're saying that people have sex more now than then?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying with multiple people, like the promiscuity aspect. I'm not saying like
So they're having the same amount of sex, but
just with different
the people.
humans, with multiple different people all over the place.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. The promiscuity is not like having sex a lot with one person. It's having sex with all these
All the
other
peoples.
different people.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, so I feel like back then that was super taboo.
Yeah.
So do you think this letter is that she wants to sleep around, or she's saying, I
No, I
don't
think
even
she-
really want to marry you, and you can do what you want?
Yeah, I think it's like
That's what I think.
Yeah,
It's do what you want. I don't want to be beholden.
I think it's
to
her
it.
It's almost like society expects us to be married, get married, so let's do it. But I don't,
like you're my homie, but that's about it.
And she's setting the stage like I'm gonna be gone. Like I'm not gonna be
For
here
long periods of time.
I'm
gonna take a prop plane to China.
Yeah, like
This is a long time.
And I think she was like, I don't want you to feel, you're kind of beholden to this thing. I'm doing this because you want me to do it, but if you have needs,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there wasn't
Or maybe-
the internet back then.
maybe
Swipe.
maybe she's also talking about like back then that maybe like women didn't work as much, right? So she's like, oh, I'm gonna be doing my thing over here.
You're gonna have to make your own dinner.
Oh, I see.
Get a little hungry, man.
Yeah. So she's saying, I don't want to be waiting. I'm not going to be wearing
wanna
an
be a
apron.
housewife.
I'm not going to be waiting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
There
there
it
it
is.
is, yeah.
Okay. I think that's.
Yeah, I'm not cooking, I'm
I
not
think
cleaning.
That's right.
I'm not doing
that
any of
makes
this
sense.
shit.
Yeah.
She's an independent woman.
She's
Yeah,
like, she's like, I'm a
exactly.
vice president.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, we figured out the
Established,
letter.
yeah.
We figured out the letter.
Debunked.
So in 1932, Amelia planned a solo, nonstop flight across the Atlantic, aiming to replicate Charles Lindbergh's journey. So remember, Charles Lindbergh was the one who did it
Yeah, and he
by
was
himself.
He's like, hey, come keep it log.
Yeah, and so she wanted to be the first woman to do it.
Yeah,
essentially.
And you said this was in 32, right? So it was like a year
32.
later?
Yeah,
So
a year later.
So
Yeah.
especially going back to the letter now, like she already
Yeah.
knew that she had this plan
It
already.
was already. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah.
So, despite poor weather conditions preventing her from reaching Paris, she became the first female aviator to fly nonstop across the Atlantic. She landed in Northern Ireland, and it was 14 hours and 56 minutes after taking off from Newfoundland.
Damn, what a badass.
Congress awarded her the Distinguished Flying Cross, and she received honors from the French government and the National Geographic Society.
Cool.
So she did it. She was
What a
fucking
badass.
the shit, you know. Her solo flights continued, including a flight from Hawaii to California,
Damn.
LA to Mexico City to New York.
Dude, that'd be kind of
She
cool.
just kept
that-
going.
I think, but I imagine like back in that day, that sounds fucking cool.
I know.
Like that actually sounds pretty sick.
Yeah. So at this point, this is 1935, and she needed a navigator. And so she found this guy. His name's Fred Noonan. And Fred Noonan is who went down with her.
Oh.
So I want to tell you just a 1 minute thing about Fred Noonan. So you know who's in the plane with her.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Okay, good. So Fred Noonan was an aviation navigator born in 1893. He gained prominence for his work as a navigator, particularly during the years of the transoceanic flights. Noonan served in the Navy during World War I, where he developed his skills as a navigator. After the war, he pursued a career in commercial aviation, becoming one of the most skilled and respected navigators of his time.
Yeah, this is before computers did all the work for you.
Yeah.
Before AI.
Take me there. So for ABT, navigate me.
So for a good period of time, Noonan worked as a navigator for Pan Am.
Oh wow,
Yeah, he was
Frank Abbott now.
nice.
Sorry.
Where he played a crucial role in developing air routes across the Pacific Ocean. His expertise in celestial navigation was highly regarded, and he contributed significantly to the advancement of long-distance air travel. So he was kind of
was the
a
goat.
pioneer.
He was the goat.
He also-
He was a pioneer of navigation.
yeah.
And he's also not like a scrub. You know, it's not like she
right.
got some like rando
Yeah.
navigate. Right, he's
Yeah.
the goat. he's the goat.
The goat navigator.
He's the goat, bro. He's the goat of the time.
He's a goat of the 1920s navigation.
Goat of the time.
This is the part that is contested, and I'm sure we're gonna get some emails on this, but I'm gonna tell you what I found. He resigned from Pan Am because he felt he had gone too far as a navigator.
Gone too far.
Too far.
Meaning you can't. He's the top navigator. You can't go
oh,
higher.
oh.
You're not getting paid
Yeah,
more.
He's
You're
just
not
like-
even a pilot.
No.
You know
see.
what
There was no room. There's no
Like
growth.
I
growth.
dominated this already.
Now-
Now I'm gonna retire. Let the youngins take over.
Yeah,
now.
the young.
Now, here's what's crazy to me is so if you start watching documentaries and Netflix stuff and all this YouTube, all these different things, They all say Fred was a raging alcoholic.
Of course.
They all say
I've gone too far.
because they're trying to find a basis of data to go. That's maybe one of the reasons is because he was smashed, and then the navigator fucked it up.
And she's like, which way do I go? I was like, 1 second, please. Let's have one more taste.
It's so nice when it touches the lips.
He's like, I gotta pee again.
Yeah.
He's like, God damn it.
But there's a lot of people say that he was fired from Pan Am for being an alcoholic.
Oh, he's like, no, I quit. I quit before they fired me.
But nothing ever says that he was fired. He says he resigned, and it wasn't for alcoholism.
Maybe what it is, like, you know, like
it wouldn't say alcohol. I resigned because I'm like an alcoholic.
He's never gonna fly again.
Well, no, there's probably like multiple things that could have happened. Maybe he developed some cool ways of navigation that Pan Am wanted to keep. Yeah. They wanted to keep, and if it came out he was like some raging drunk, they wouldn't be
Discredit him. It would
discredit like the technology. They're like, shit, we need this because it actually works.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe it's a good old boy thing. You know, back in the day, you know, he was homies with like one of the VPs. They're like, all right, we'll let you quit, and like it'll be cool.
So per the records and his own writings, he only occasionally indulged in booze.
Occasionally.
There's no real.
everybody did.
He's like, there's no. Yeah.
Only
It's
once.
a swinging
Only
20s.
once every couple hours.
Yeah.
Occasional.
Occasionally.
So
occasionally during the day.
So take that as you will, because I'm not even kidding. I watched about 3 or 4 documentaries where there was a 20 minutes on how he's a raging alcoholic.
All of them said the same shit.
Yeah.
Like he would just wake up and he's just beat red.
Well, like so you'll see on their final
He
flight.
used to shake as he was navigating.
Shit.
You'll see on the final flight, which is next, that they say that every stop they did, he was just at the bar.
It reminds me.
smashed.
What's that movie with Denzel?
Which I don't necessarily.
We don't really know.
I would be.
He just flew. He just flew for 28 hours.
Just flew from fucking Vietnam to Manila.
I mean, shit.
I'm gonna have a beer.
You fly from here to Miami and you stop at the bar.
I know. Me and Eric at the Colorado airport were like, we need 2 more 22 ounces now, sir.
And they're like, it's 37. We don't. Money is not an issue.
They're like, you're a passenger on a layover from an hour flight. Shut up.
They're like, sir, it's 7:30 in the morning. Hit me.
Hit me.
But do you think it's fair if you're seen at a bar? Does that mean?
Yes. That means you're drinking. What?
No, I know.
Does that mean you're
But
alcoholic?
imagine you see the captain of your flight, and he's like at the bar with you. You're like,
Yeah. True.
It's a little scary.
Yeah. I guess it's suspect.
What's that? What does that mean?
It's suspect.
What you think?
I
It
mean,
was? You think it was back
you
then?
see a
Because
guy.
it was.
You can see a guy at a strip club. Do you think he's a perv?
I mean, you're also at the strip club, so
Yeah, exactly. How does that make sense?
You're like, this guy's legit.
No, I'm just saying, you
This guy's
see him
super
one
legit.
time. You see him one time, and you're like, okay, you know.
This guy perv, like, no, he's just like me. We're good. I'm not a perv.
That analogy doesn't work.
Okay, different
Unless he's
analogy,
like
different
fucking,
analogy.
I don't know, babysitting my kids or something. What the fuck?
And you're like,
Okay,
But if you
different
see,
analogy.
if you
like, I
see
know
your
you.
pilot at the bar throwing down with
True.
you, then yes, that's suspect.
Maybe there's some
validity
credence
to this?
or whatever, you know? Maybe.
There's a good movie with fucking Denzel where he's a pilot.
I
Yeah.
know.
Drunk.
Flight?
It's something.
Isn't that the one where he like land or he has to like
I'm
go
drunk
upside,
right
upside
now.
down?
Yeah, he literally fucking flips.
Yeah.
He does like this impossible maneuver, and they're like, "How the fuck did you do
Yeah,
this?"
he's like, I'm drunk right now.
and then they're literally like, he's like, "Did you drink?" He's like, "Yes, no." Okay, I had a couple drinks. they're like, what?
They're like, you have a 0.7 alcohol in your system and cocaine.
And it would kill,
cocaine.
it would kill any other human to have this much alcohol.
Okay. All right.
So maybe he's like
maybe
that. Like,
there's some.
he needs to
maybe there's
operate.
something
He
there.
operates at a high level under the influence.
Was that a true story, by the
Yeah,
way?
true story.
It was, right?
Yeah.
But now, no, it wasn't.
No?
Get out of here.
I'm pretty
No,
sure.
no. That Sully was a true story.
Sully.
No, Sully
Sully
was.
with Tom Hanks.
Oh, we're gonna get down to the bottom of this. I looked it up, and it's not a true story. Flight is not
okay.
based. Well,
Yeah.
it is, but it isn't. It's based on a real flight, but not a true story. So probably the alcohol thing was a
Yeah.
dramatization.
Yeah. Dramatization.
Dramatization.
No, dramatization.
Dramatization.
Well, what's the difference between me saying galaxy and galaxy? The same fucking word.
Means
my
the difference is you're saying it wrong. It's galaxy.
Tit for tat.
Anyways, dramatization.
Well, anyways, Jorge's a language racist, so we're done.
My opinion doesn't count. It's English second language.
Yeah, see, Jorge barely knows our language.
I don't even know what we've been talking about. To the guy who says we never stay on topic, eat it. We are going to play some of her audio. So we're going to play that now.
Yeah, so enjoy.
Among all the marvels of modern invention, that with which I am most concerned is, of course, air transportation. Flying is perhaps the most dramatic of recent scientific attainments. In the brief span of 30-odd years, the world has seen an inventor's dream, first materialized by the Wright brothers at Kitty Hawk, become an everyday actuality. Perhaps I'm prejudiced, but to me it seems that no other phase of modern progress contrives to maintain such a brimming measure of romance and beauty coupled with utility as does aviation. Within itself, this industry embraces many of those scientific accomplishments which yesterday seemed fantastic impossibilities. Aviation, this young modern giant, exemplifies the possible relationship of women and the creations of science. Although women as yet have not taken full advantage of its use and benefits, air travel is as available to them as to men. As so often happens in introducing the new or changing the old, public acceptance depends peculiarly upon women's friendly attitude. In aviation, they are arbiters of whether or not their families shall fly, and as such are a potent influence. And lastly, there is a place within the industry itself for women who work. While still greatly outnumbered, they are finding more and more opportunities for employment in the ranks of this latest transportation medium. May I hope this movement will spread throughout all branches of applied science and industry, and that women may come to share with men the joy of doing. Those can appreciate rewards most who have helped create.
It's crazy because it's exactly what Sean's saying, which is that accent. But you know, it's a little eerie. Okay, so the final flight of Amelia Earhart, it happened in 1937, and she embarked on an ambitious around-the-world flight, piloting a special craft called the Lockheed Model 10E Electra. It was equipped with enlarged fuel tanks.
Oh, yeah, so they didn't have to do handheld refuel?
No. And she could go long distances. She aimed to follow a route that was really close to the equator. Her initial attempt in March of 37, flying westward, abruptly ended when she crashed into Hawaii.
What? I wonder what the equator thing is all about.
I wonder if it was near the Bermuda
Probably
Triangle.
the weather, huh?
No, I just said the equator thing.
No, I said
No,
Bermuda
no, probably
Triangle.
the weather.
He said probably the weather, and I said I wonder if it was near the Bermuda Triangle.
Probably, if you follow the equator, it's less.
It's probably
extreme
most
weather.
premium weather.
Less.
Yeah.
It's probably because like
North it'll be colder, south it'll I don't
like
know.
the winds or something.
No, what happens, like, obviously, if you think of hurricane systems and all that, it all happens when it's pretty much a differential between hot and cold air hitting each other that creates like these fucking weird storm systems, storm cells. So maybe if it's just straight hot as fuck everywhere, they're like, it just rains. That's all. It just rains.
On May 21st, 1937, she departed Oakland, California, in the now repaired Electra that had problems crashed and problems in
yeah.
It wasn't a big crash, but
I
it
mean,
was like,
she survived, so it wasn't that bad.
She was accompanied by her navigator, Fred Noonan,
Fucking
the guy.
shit-faced. Fucking sweaty Fred.
They charted
Shaky Fred.
It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even go.
They're like, why is your coffee clear? Shut up.
So their course was predominantly overland. They made stops in Burbank, Tucson, New Orleans, Miami, etc.
They're stopping everywhere. Every place is a bar.
Yeah.
It's like fucking.
Which can I bring
Bar
up a point?
hopping.
Can I bring up a point?
Yes, of course.
Does it feel less of an accomplishment if you just stop all the time?
Yes, 100%.
No, it's impossible to not stop.
No, but they're stopping every 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like okay,
That's true.
like I biked the U.S. It took me 7 years.
Yeah.
I biked,
bar hop.
Yes, I biked to Ocala.
and then back.
Yeah. I biked to Ocala for 6 days.
Then I flew to California and then biked around and then flew around.
It just seems...
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not like the Tour de France where like they're actually biking like
nonstop.
yeah, nonstop. But for like,
No, maybe
like,
they
like
get
a
a
week.
Gatorade break.
Yeah.
Right? They get a couple.
Oh, yeah.
Pee break, poop break.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
Anyways,
you
I
don't
don't
stop to have a few drinks and
Yeah, you're not stopping like they're like New Orleans is not on our way, Fred. You're like, yes, it is. I'm the navigator. Trust me.
So
stop.
They,
Mardi Gras is happening right now. Okay, trust me.
So
Bourbon Street, bitch.
Sorry.
Go
They
ahead,
continued their journey. They traversed the Caribbean. They received a warm welcome in San Juan. Then they flew to Brazil, making the longest completed leg of their voyage at 1,700 miles.
Okay.
Their route then took them across Africa, which stopped in West Africa, followed by a journey east to the Sahel region and onward to Ethiopia. Departing from Ethiopia, they achieved the first Africa to India flight, landing in Karachi, which was then part of India, which was 1,600 miles.
I wonder how they set this up. Did they have to call ahead like, yo, we're
Probably.
Americans. We're going to be landing in your
Imagine
country.
the nightmare of every stop and refueling.
And like, what are like almost all these countries on the back end? They don't. What if they don't speak English? You're like, gas. I need gas. Like, do you take cash? Like credit? Like, what do you like?
Insane.
It's amazing.
By the way, I'm looking at the map right now of the flight.
Yeah.
We'll put this in the Patreon for sure. Remind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to put that one in because Jorge's is actually better.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this one's good, but it's his like zoomed in. Yeah.
Oh no, this one's good. This one's good.
Also, that was printed on Amelia Earhart's printer. so it might be
So it's a little
Might
pixely.
be a little issue, yeah.
That's like early MapQuest style. Like,
I know. Like,
Anyways, I mean,
take a left at Gao.
I mean, you know, this is kind of like, you know, they're going across the planet.
That's a
you
whole-
know?
that
They're
planetary-
trying to stay within the equator, you know, in that. I mean,
it's
where
pretty,
you can.
It's pretty close.
Where you can,
yeah.
yeah.
It's in that band.
They went from Calcutta, India. They made stops in Bangkok, the Dutch East Indies. They hit monsoon weather. One time, Amelia got dysentery. You know,
this is also why I think maybe she made back to that letter.
maybe
She's
maybe,
like, I
maybe
know
what?
I'm gonna eventually fly across the world with a dude. And then, you know, who knows? Who knows? You know, you're sitting, you're fucking riding right behind a person for across the planet.
True.
You might be like, you look kind of good. What's up?
So after she got done being sick, she had more repairs on her faulty instruments, and she stopped in Australia. They resumed their journey eastward, reaching New Guinea on June 29th. Amelia Earhart's next destination was something called Howland Island. And this was 2,200 miles away from where she took off from Australia. And this was the longest overwater leg of the journey.
Damn.
And in order to facilitate this, she arranged, because it's kind of a PR thing too, and your publicity and all that sort of thing.
Sure.
So with
It's like when the queen goes to when the king or queen goes to like fucking India. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, it's still our territory. Hey.
Yeah.
And so, but she got the help from the U.S. Coast Guard, and there's a ship that was there, and it was called the Itasca, and it was positioned right off Howland Island, and it was going to be their communication headquarters.
Oh, they can like bounce the radio signals off
Yeah,
their,
so-
they got
Wait, so
repeaters.
the plan was to land there?
No, they
Yeah.
ran on the
Okay.
island, but I think like the ship was going to be there so they could like have comms and
That's right. So
Yeah.
they would be, just in case something happened, they could say,
Yeah,
hey,
they're there, like,
they're there.
yeah.
It's a ship, it'd be kind of
Americans.
Yeah.
America.
Exactly. Okay, good. So that's called the Itasca, right? Okay, so she departed Lai in New Guinea, and the Electra embarked on its voyage. 8 hours later, Earhart made her final call to Lai. At 1930 hours, Itasca received a distressing message, and it said,
That's 7:30, by the way, guys.
it said, KHAQQ calling Itasca. We must
that.
be on you. She says, we must be on you, but cannot see you. Gas is running low.
Oh shit.
An hour later, the last communication arrived, and it said, we are in a line position of 157-337.
Mayday! Sorry.
We will report on 6210 kilocycles. And that's just a frequency, just so you guys know.
Okay.
Wait, listen on 6210 kilocycles. We are running north and south. Now, the north and south, I think, is important because this is her words.
Yeah.
So just imagine you're flying to Howland Island. And you can't find the fucking island.
You're like, it's small.
By the way,
and you're
this
in
is
a
like
massive-
southwest of Honolulu. Just
Yeah.
For
So
those
her
of you
next
guys
stop
listening.
would have been Honolulu.
Why
She was
would
going
they-
to stop
I was-
there.
I was like,
and
why
then
are they
go
going to
up
this little
Honolulu.
shitty island?
Yeah.
Like fucking idiots.
I mean, that's a long way from Lie.
Yeah.
What 1,600 miles or something?
2,200 miles.
2,200. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what it
shit.
was, yeah.
2,200 miles. So that's almost the entire United States.
That's insane.
The United States is about 2,800 miles,
Wow.
2,900 miles. Yeah. So during Earhart and Noonan's approach to Howland Island, the Itasca received strong and clear voice transmissions from Earhart identifying as KHAQQ, but she apparently was unable to hear those voice transmissions from the ship. Signals from the ship would also be used for direction finding. The first calls, routine reports stating the weather as cloudy and overcast, were received at 2:45 and just before 5 a.m. on July 2nd. These calls were broken up by static, but at this point, the aircraft would still be a long distance from Howland Island.
Okay.
At 6:14 a.m., another call was received stating the aircraft was within 200 miles and requested that the ship use its direction finder to provide a bearing for the aircraft. Earhart began whistling into the microphone to provide a continuous signal for them to hone in on.
Oh, they're trying to find him. Okay, yeah.
It was at this point that the radio operators on the Itasca realized that their RDF system could not tune into the aircraft's kilohertz frequency. Radio man Leo Bellarts later commented that he was sitting there sweating blood because I couldn't do a darn thing about it.
I don't get it. I'm lost. What are you talking about? Like, so she's whistling because what now?
Basically,
Like,
she's
how does that
giving,
work?
she's talking over the radio, but the Itasca is not receiving anything.
So she's trying to keep a solid because the way radio works,
Like, where are you now? Where are
it's
you?
Like when you stop,
Yeah.
like, she's just trying to keep a solid communication out. So they're like, oh, okay, we hear her. She's there.
That's right.
So they're just kind of like tuning through channels trying to find her or something.
Yeah, and they're hearing voices, but it's almost like if you're talking and I can hear you, but I can't acknowledge that I hear you. So Sean's saying, Eric,
okay,
where are
okay.
you? And I'm like, I can hear him. I can hear him, but I
But
can't tell him.
You can't acknowledge.
Yes, I can't tell him. Imagine you're Amelia and you're saying all these things and nobody's replying to you.
Please fucking answer me.
Yes.
We're running out of gas.
Yes.
Mayday.
God damn it! I'm stuck with fucking Frank.
So and at this point at 7:42 a.m., Earhart said, "We must be on you, but cannot see you. But gas is running low.
Okay.
Have been unable to reach you by radio. We are flying at 1,000 feet. That's so
low.
low.
That's hella low,
Yes. So and then she talks about, hey, we're on this frequency, we're on this, So her
I mean,
signal,
also, I would like to say
know.
that just to add on there, like this island is pretty tiny
It's tiny as fuck.
compared to Honolulu, which is also
Which is
pretty
also tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you see this map, look, that's off the coast of Australia, right? Which is a pretty big island there. The Howland Island, at least on this map, looks like a tiny dot.
It's like a pencil.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So she couldn't spot. She
Yeah,
couldn't.
no shit, you can't spot it. It's
Yeah.
like fucking 12 feet in diameter.
Yeah, 12 by 12.
I know, it's like a box in the ocean. It's like you're just broadcasting into like the space.
I know.
Into like the
Couldn't find
void.
it, yeah.
And like
And
you know that your death is imminent.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty
also,
much.
It's also like it makes it even worse. You know that there's a Coast Guard ship out there that could save you.
That's the worst.
But then you're like, where are you?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. So
it's amazing she kept her. She kept the. At least it sounds like she was communicating the way she should have been.
all
like,
the way up to
Yeah,
it.
I would have been like, help me!
Now,
kept her professionalism.
Oh, dude, I would have dropped that out way fast. I'm like,
you motherfuckers! You better fucking answer me.
You couldn't help me.
So after this happened, Roosevelt put together the biggest task force or rescue mission,
Search rescue.
and the most expensive that's ever been done up to that point. Millions of dollars.
I was like, do you know the cost?
$4.5 million.
Wow.
Oh, but so in the 30s was like that's
Yeah.
$1 billion.
Yeah, yeah, and they covered 3,100 square miles.
Damn, that's massive, and that's a big
Nothing.
space. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I just wanted to point out there was one part that I, in what she says, which is she says we're running north and south.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
what does that mean? Yeah.
I have no idea what that means.
From what I understand, that means is they're at this point at Howland Island,
Yeah.
but they can't see Howland Island. So instead of continuing to go straight because she's out of gas, she's going, okay, let's go up and down.
Oh, I see. Until they find it, like
Until they find it.
like a grid search.
Yeah, you're gonna die if you go to Honolulu, bro.
Yeah, so you're just gonna
You're
like,
done.
Yeah,
So the idea is that some people think that she went up and down.
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
To try to
Just
find
like
it.
turn around and they go.
And that's why one of the biggest theories is that she made it to Gardner Island.
Castaway.
sense?
Castaway.
She's like, we found it.
That's right. So eventually, though, of course, they called off the search. And, ever since then, Amelia Earhart has been missing.
Well, I mean, even if she was alive, she'd be dead now.
No, yeah, no, I know. But you know what I mean? Like, no, there's no plane wreckage.
Yeah, if just the worst. Like, imagine if she's like going north and south, trying to look for the island.
Yeah.
And she was only like a little bit of ways, and if she would have only gone south.
I know.
Oh man, that's
Honestly,
the
it
worst.
could be minutes.
To think about it. Yeah,
It could be minutes. Yeah.
It's literally right there.
Yeah. So,
Although she was pretty low.
1,000
Or
feet
1,000
up.
not
Dude,
square
you
feet,
can
yeah,
see it,
1,000.
even if it's dark. You're gonna like see a landmass that's gonna have a shadow.
Yeah.
and there was a news article that came out recently, and everybody says, oh, what's funny about the news nowadays is they're grasping so hard for we solved something.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they didn't
Amelia Earhart's
no,
plane.
so the headlines are pretty much they found Amelia Earhart's plane, and there's like, no, read the article.
Yeah. It's
like
What they did is a sonar. They have sonar somewhere over here of underneath a crashed plane,
over here, like under.
like near Gardner Island.
Okay.
So it's like they don't even know. They don't even have the plane yet.
And all they know is that it's the same size.
That is so
And that's
loose.
honestly
That's
what it
it.
is.
Hella,
That's it.
it's like hella loose.
I know.
It's like we don't even know. Like
found
it's-
a wing.
and it's also sonar too. So it's like
Yeah.
it's not 100% accurate.
Yeah. So the
it's
official explanation says that the plane ran out of fuel, crashed into the sea, and they died on impact.
you would hope so. You would. You like that's like.
Yeah.
I would hope to die on impact.
Yeah.
In that scenario, I don't want to die in the ocean. That sounds terrible.
Okay, so you guys ready for the theories now?
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
So here are the theories. Theory 1, we kind of already touched on, which is that she just crashed into the ocean. They propose she ran out of fuel while searching for the tiny island of Howland and subsequently crashed into the open ocean, resulting in them drowning.
Yeah. Let me.
The theory is because of the distress calls, Taskia, and reporting to them that she had low fuel. She couldn't see anything.
It's hella dark.
And after $4 million spent on a rescue operation, nothing was found. And so the theories are that it's just 18,000 feet down. And it's similar to the length or to the depth of the Titanic. Which was so hard. That's why it was so hard to find the Titanic.
They had to build
because we didn't even have the
They had
technology
to build
go down
robots
there.
and shit
Yes.
to like figure it out.
And it took like
Years.
80 years.
Yeah.
God.
So there you go. That's theory 1, right?
So
Which is
on
the
a-
basic theory.
Yeah. Which is like
on a search rescue mission, like they're just looking for if somebody's out there floating, surviving.
Yes.
It's not like
They're not looking
it's not like they're
underwater.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's not like they're really looking for a sunken plane or looking for the actual evidence of the plane down there or whatever, right?
Yeah.
no, they're literally just looking.
Yeah, just
I know. How do you it's just ocean.
You see like a raft or
super.
something.
Yeah. Or maybe debris. Yeah.
Oh,
Any
yeah,
sort of debris.
but
Like
most of that debris is not like I think nowadays maybe it's built to like some of the shit to float
Yeah.
so that you can
Back then, it was like
identify.
straight up-
No, it's like
straight up steel.
It's like fucking cast iron. It's like-
oil? Maybe if you saw oil?
No, dude. How are you gonna see oil? What's
yeah,
that?
how are you gonna see oil?
What's that shimmering thing off the light reflecting off the water?
Oh, that's just a wave.
By the way, I was reading it, and apparently the plane at this time was about 80 miles an hour.
That's hella
Just
slow.
to give you an idea.
80 miles an hour.
That is
Damn.
so
They're propeller
slow.
plane.
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I mean?
But how it and they
And they have big barrels and big things of gas.
I feel like it
and
would
you
take
gotta just
it would take longer to get there. Then it's like what? Only 80 miles an hour, but they're going 1,600 miles. That doesn't make sense.
20 hours.
Oh yeah, good point. It's like 20 hours to
And
everywhere.
they didn't
though.
even make it.
I know. It's like fuck. Like sucks. And
So
now
if
it's like,
that's a theory, then what is the problem? Why did they fuck up?
maybe
Did you not have enough gas?
No, I think it's like maybe look navigator. You know, it's like gave her the wrong bearing or
Yeah.
I don't know. It's also the island's tiny as fuck.
Yeah.
They have-
And maybe it's cloudy.
They have rudimentary technology. I don't
No,
know. Like
I read-
a gust of wind.
Like I read somewhere, if you take off from LA to New York and it was 5 degrees off from your path,
oh,
straight
you
there,
end up in like fucking
yeah, You end up in
Guatemala.
like fucking Miami or some shit. I don't know.
So
No,
you're
but
just
like,
not paying attention for 20 hours,
well,
give or take.
Or you just don't,
Give or
or
take.
it's like you're wrong.
yeah,
Like,
you're
maybe
just wrong.
your
Like that's
little
a tiny
calculation is
little
wrong.
speck of an island there, and he could have been off by just a little bit. And by the time they get there,
But you
they're
know
like
this is a
circling
bird's
around.
eye view, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That doesn't have to do
It's
with
really
anything.
big.
It's really not
You guys
that
keep
big.
saying speck.
It's a speck.
I'm just saying
It's not a
if
speck.
you were
It's a
off,
speck in the
island.
yeah, but if they took off from Lie or Lay, how do you
According to
say it
Eric,
again?
every island is massive.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
humongous. Yeah,
If
it's
they
a
took off from Lie, right, and
So
he
you're
was,
saying a navigational error.
I think so.
I mean, that's the
I
thing
think
that
so.
makes the most sense.
I think so.
I think it's kind of stupid that they ran out of gas.
They're in a plane that's.
So you're saying that he missed it and then she started going up and down?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were doing
Yeah.
like a grid search. They weren't meant to
see,
do
I get
that.
it, okay.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Also, one place I read that might be part of this theory is if you underestimate the wind against you,
no, that's what I'm saying. Oh yeah, the
so
headwind.
the gas may
a good
be a
point, too.
problem.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it'll actually
yeah.
slow you down. so
Especially
much.
if you're doing big fucking propeller planes and.
But it's also like
never-
you think
know.
like back then they're not intuitive navigation systems that are like plotting your trajectory in real time. It's
Yeah.
like what if there was
True.
there's a wind on your broadside and it's been just slowly pushing you
And
5 degrees off.
Yeah, that's
and then
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
5 degrees over 1,600 miles could equal you're 10, 20 miles away from the fucking island.
Yeah,
Okay, it's like 4 gallons.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. Yeah.
true.
So another theory is that she successfully landed her plane not on Howland Island, but Gardner
Gardner.
Island.
Okay,
Yeah.
which is just south of it.
And this is actually presented by the International Historic Aircraft Recovery Group that suggested that she landed there and eventually perished on the island living in a cave.
Like Castaway.
yes, like eating coconuts and shit. And she just lived out her life.
Look what I have created. Fire.
Is there anything there at Gardner Island? Like anybody live there? Like nothing's there? It's like a total
yeah,
like
great
abandoned-
question. Yeah. So various searches have been conducted, including Navy planes and private individuals, but there's not really conclusive evidence on the islands that says it. They did find bones, and they did find a shoe. They found a shoe that was from the 1920s, worn by a woman.
Oh.
But
I wonder, do we know if they searched that area when they did the whole search? I mean, I would assume.
I would assume.
Right?
So what's crazy too is there's a guy named Robert Ballard. Have you heard that name, Robert Ballard?
No.
He's the dude who found the Titanic.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
He also found the shoe.
No, so he did his own because he's like, oh, I found the Titanic. I'm ready to fucking. I'm gonna
he's
find
like,
all
I
the
am,
things.
I am
out."
the authority
Yeah,
on finding things.
I'm gonna find Alexander the Great's body. I'm gonna find all the good things. Anyways, he came up with nothing.
I know,
So
and-
he went to the
and-
We
island.
also found the Stargate.
He found the Stargate. I wish there was.
So in March of 2011, ongoing efforts continued, and they found these bones on that island, and they analyzed the DNA from the bones. However,
inconclusive.
they couldn't figure out. It was inconclusive.
They were like, these are the bones of a human.
Yeah.
We know, we've established this.
But no discovery of aircraft. They found no
no like huts.
Nothing.
On like the fucking island.
nothing aside from that shoe, which I don't know.
How long?
I mean, dude,
after?
that's,
how,
like-
how much or what year would you say?
2011.
Dude, that shoe could have fell off.
Damn.
That shoe could have
Could've
fell
been
off
my
any
shoe.
boat. I know, like just a random shoe, like floating in
Could
the.
have been like some spring breaker just
I know.
hanging out there.
But honestly,
She went to a thrift store. That's why it's from the 1920s.
totally.
Goodwill shoe.
Good
She
one.
lives in Seattle, or Portland. Yeah, for sure. No offense to our Seattle and Portland fans.
I mean, they're a pretty big listener base for
Yeah,
us.
I know. They're actually like 80%. Love y'all.
It's a shout out. Take it as a shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out Seattle.
Okay, but last thing on this theory is it's the coolest one. I wish she landed on the island.
Dude, for sure.
She crashed into the ocean. She swam. She started living off coconuts and living in a cave. And,
And then she discovered like
Just,
she discovered ancient technology.
I
She's
know.
actually still alive now.
so good.
She had her own little Wilson to play with.
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, I love that movie.
That was the saddest moment
Dude,
ever.
I was so close to crying.
Oh, I was
I
bawling.
was
Yeah,
so
I was
fucking
gone.
close.
Yeah.
I was like choked up.
Yeah.
Over a fucking volleyball.
Actually-
like literally over a
Yeah,
volleyball.
and it was sad. She was banging some other dude. and I
Well,
was
I
just
mean,
like-
dude, he'd been
What do you
gone
do?
He'd been gone for 2 years.
Yes.
No, I did the math.
Totally, everybody would think that you're dead.
No,
Like,
I did the
fuck.
math. I did the math, and it's actually a Reddit. It was 10 months. She had
What
a
do you mean
kid.
you did the math?
She had a kid.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So they figured out in Reddit. Like,
she
there's a
waited.
Reddit
She waited
10
months. That's a long time. When they're
Is
like,
it?
dude, when they're like, they're dead.
Your spouse
to have a kid.
crash
though.
lands into an island and you don't know? 10 months?
That's not a long time.
And you're clapping? You clapping the boo?
And you're
Love it.
clapping. And you're
You got
clapping.
sound effects too.
And you're clapping.
Anyways,
Clapping them cheeks.
sorry, Tom Hanks.
And you're clapping. I mean,
okay.
I would feel like
10
feel,
months is a
I would
little
feel
early.
hella slighted.
I need
if
18.
I got back and I'm like, I bitch, I survived. Like, you know all the bills that
I
paid?
looked at. Remember, he looked at her in the thing the whole time.
I know,
The
literally.
little clock.
Yeah.
Okay, everything about that story is a little insane. Like,
I
he
know.
happened to be the smartest man on the earth. He created a calendar in a cave with a little light peephole.
I might do a rewatch.
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
I
definitely
might do a
Yeah.
rewatch. I might do a rewatch.
You gotta love crab.
Theory 3. Some speculate that Earhart and Noonan were captured by the Japanese and pulled from the crash site. There was a photo that was found in the National Archives depicting a woman resembling Earhart and a man resembling Noonan on a dock in the Marshall Islands. And this,
Well, according
This-
to Eric, it's completely debunked because, like, why is it in 4K?
so the Japanese capture hypothesis suggests that they were taken prisoner by Japanese forces in the Marshall Islands. Some believe they were captured after the plane crash or were shot down.
No, but okay. But how far away is this island from Japan?
Pretty far.
I know. So I'm saying,
It's
like,
pretty far.
They knew
Japan's
they were
up
there.
here. Japan's way up here.
They have the radio frequencies. There's a Coast Guard ship in the area
Yeah.
that's picking it up.
It's got to be, I got to say, 1,000 miles.
Dude, there's no
Maybe
way. The Japanese
1,500.
just happen to be
Yeah.
like
Maybe 1,500.
sauntering over here.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit. Look what we found, boys.
Looky.
So hold on, though. Hold on.
little white lady.
Here are the alleged eyewitnesses.
Alleged.
A Saipanese woman claimed to have witnessed their execution by Japanese soldiers.
What's Saipanese?
Some Cyprus.
Saipan,
Oh.
like people from Saipan.
Where's
I don't
the
even
fucking
know where they
Saipan?
have- Yeah.
So the theory is that they were captured, and then this woman claimed to have witnessed that they were executed by the Japanese. There's no independent confirmation of this. This is again one of those. I saw them kill him and I'm dead. I'm on my deathbed.
It's also just like some random
Yes.
ass lady, like some
Yeah.
random lady in Saipan. Like, who interviewed this lady? I synced it. I synced him die.
Yeah.
And it literally could have been anybody. How does she know?
I know.
that it was
Did they
Earhart?
translate from Saipanese?
So, and then let's take up this photo. So, this is the photo that they claim they saw, and that's apparently Earhart.
You
and
can't even
that's,
see their
that's
fucking
Frank
faces.
Noonan right there.
Let me see this shit.
Can't see shit in this photo.
Oh wow, cool. So the giant shadow
woman,
face.
Any
is,
woman with short hair is basically Amelia Earhart.
Which one's supposed to be Amelia Earhart?
Like the tall woman with short hair.
Where? What woman? I only see one woman.
Jorge got it?
The one who's in like the Aboriginal dress.
Yes, that one.
No.
Yes, that's what you
Come here,
said.
come here.
What? Okay. The one with the headband?
Sitting down.
Oh, you kidding me? This is what they're
Said the
basing it
tall
on.
one.
No, it's the girl sitting down.
How do you know she's tall? She's
Yeah,
sitting
she's
lanky.
down.
She's
She's
literally the
lanky.
shortest one in this
She's
picture.
lanky.
How can you tell that?
Upper body, torso.
Oh, you know, okay, the only thing I can
No,
actually
no.
the only thing I can actually extrapolate for a fact from this picture is that they're wearing shirts and that there's boats around them.
And that's it.
And that's literally it. Everything else is a shadow.
Okay, so then, regardless, it was later found out that it was a picture from a Japanese coffee table book.
They're like,
Fake news.
it's like Discovery
Fucking
Channel.
fake
It's
news.
fake news. Japan's like,
And it was
go
and
to
it
the
was-
pier. It's really nice.
and the photo was taken years earlier.
Breaking
wow.
news: Amelia Earhart found with the Japan. No, never mind.
So Eric just like led us down that rabbit hole just to instantly debunk
No,
it.
it's because a lot of people
We're
go.
like, Eric, you idiot.
a lot of people go. Oh, have you seen the photos of her on Marshall Islands?
Yeah,
That's what that is.
on the Japanese
Coffee table
on the
book.
Japanese coffee table book.
Yeah. Theory 4. There
Bullshit.
are claims that suggest that Earhart's mission was not just pioneering aviation, but acting as a government agent for the United States.
A spy?
A spy. According to Randall Brink, author of the book Lost Star, Earhart's true objective was not to reach Howland Island, but to gather intelligence on the Japanese installations for the U.S. government. Brink theorizes that Earhart and Noonan's flight was a covert mission intending to document Japanese activities in the Pacific prior to World War II.
You know, it's not that crazy.
It's not that crazy.
It seemed like, you know, she was also looking for funding and prestige, and they were probably we'll fucking buy you whatever fucking
But now what's
plane you want,
interesting,
girl.
what's interesting is this.
What's also
this
perfect
theory,
cover-up.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
She's already famous. They've been making her famous, pumping
Right.
her up. You know?
And,
what's-
you would never suspect a woman pilot, you know, to be spying.
No, 0% chance.
Or handling any sort of,
Or
you know,
any sort of task.
any sort of affairs. But what's interesting about this is that this one would go back to the other one, which was that maybe she was shot down by the Japanese.
Oh, because they maybe like
So
they,
if they were like, "Oh, she's a spy," you know,
but how would they know?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe their intel's like really good. I don't know.
So
Maybe,
it-
by the
Maybe
way,
they had
we love
they had
women.
a spy on our side that let them know. Maybe it was Frank.
Ooh, Frank's a double agent.
Yeah.
So Frank's like, give me all the sake. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
So there's a movie that came out in 1943 called Flight for Freedom, and it popularized the notion that Amelia Earhart was involved in espionage for FDR.
That sounds pretty cool. Though. I hope that's the truth.
Yeah. So, but you know, and then that rumor led to the suggestion that Earhart made propaganda broadcasts as Tokyo Rose. But then George Putnam investigated it, her husband, and found no evidence to support.
Well,
that
that's
claim.
also it's like he's investigating that. Of course, he's not going to find anything.
Yeah.
It's like saying if my wife's like convicted of murder, and then I'm like, well, I did an independent investigation.
Right.
I found nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, duh.
So just so if you guys don't know what
Unless he
Tokyo
didn't really
Rose
like her
is,
because she left him.
I know, right?
so if you guys don't know what a Tokyo Rose is, it was a name given by the Allied troops in the South Pacific during World War II to all female English-speaking radio broadcasters of Japanese propaganda. The programs were broadcast in the South Pacific and North America to demoralize Allied forces. So they're basically, just imagine, the idea was that the women who spoke English, they were sat there with guns and they would talk about propaganda to demoralize Allied forces. And
So they were Japanese women who spoke English.
or they were kidnapped people forced to say these words.
Oh, they're like, dude, the Japanese people, they're super nice. I don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know how much sushi I've had lately?
No,
It's amazing. I love it.
A similar thing is yes, exactly. So
Okay.
that's the Japanese theory.
But I love the Japanese people. I feel like they wouldn't do
I
that.
know.
They wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, well,
They're too much honor.
This is the 40s.
Too much honor.
They were horrible. They were part of the axis of evil. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
all it
true.
is. Yeah, I mean,
on the tail end, bro.
well, no, technically they were just as bad as they killed millions of people and slaughtered them. And
They didn't kill millions. That's not true.
100%.
The Japanese didn't.
100%.
They didn't kill millions. They weren't part of the war until like the last 2 years.
Okinawa
They don't
was
even
one
ha-
of the worst
they don't even have
battles
millions
that
of-
existed in World War II, and that was at the hands of the Japanese.
Eric's spitting propaganda right now. Eric's a Tokyo Rose.
I will not. I'm not even kidding.
Eric's a Tokyo
is literally, it's so gross. Okinawa is the worst.
Seriously.
Okay, last theory. The last theory is that she faked her own death, changed her identity, and lived out her life somewhere else.
All to get rid of her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the
exactly.
1970
what's the motive there?
In the 1970 publication of Amelia Earhart Lives, it introduced this extraordinary claim. Authored by Joe Class, the book proposes that Earhart survived the plane crash in the Pacific Ocean, then was captured by the Japanese, as we talked about, but then was rescued by the U.S. forces.
And then was made a spy.
Then was covertly returned into witness protection and then lived out her life as Irene Bolam in New Jersey.
Okay, this one's instantly bullshit.
A homie wrote a book about it.
Well, I can write
crazy. Honestly, we should write the most absurd book.
Dude,
just to prove
Just to do
how
it.
fucked up books can be sometimes.
MLK
I
survived.
know.
And then he became
With Tupac.
He became Samuel Jackson. And then when she became
Anyways, there we go. Those
No,
are the
that's a-
main.
that's a
those are the
bullshit
main
one.
theories of Amelia Earhart.
You think somebody that famous could make it into witness protection?
No way.
No, right?
No fucking.
I don't know how famous she was.
I think she was,
She was
pretty
famous.
fucking famous.
Ticker tape parade.
Dude, yeah, anyone who gets a ticker tape parade for anything is famous.
She
as fuck.
looks not normal. I don't want to say
it's with the short hair. And
and she's super tall, slender. She just doesn't look like a normal 1930s woman. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So she would probably stand
What
out.
if she's an alien?
Lizard people.
Oh my God.
She's hilarious. She actually literally just flew that's why she crashed the plane and she got fucking beamed
I'm
back.
telling you, she got intercepted by a Tic Tac.
Intercepted Tic Tac. And then the Frank's like, "What the fuck's happening?" She's like, "You're drunk. Shut up, bitch."
Frank was killed off.
Frank,
She was abducted.
Frank was easy. He was easy way to cut loose. He's like, "I don't want to believe this fucking asshole." Anyways,
He's almost dead anyways.
it's like,
Comatose. Throw him off the side.
get the fuck out of here, Frank.
Okay, so as we do, what do you think happened to Amelia?
I think that they fucking crashed, bro. She's fucking
She just died on
dead,
impact,
homie.
and she's just somewhere we.
I don't even know.
found her.
She's dead. I don't know if it was on impact or not, but she crashed and died
Yeah.
at some point, either immediately or after the fact. I'm not gonna get that granular. She died on impact. No,
Do you have any theories of where she ended up, or just
dude?
kind of
I think Frank fucked it up.
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
Frank fucked it
Yeah.
hard. You know, that's a long trip, dude. They've been going for hella long. It's
I
a
know.
long.
It's
Even if he
true.
wasn't drunk, it's a lot.
Have
It's
you
a
ever been? What's the
long
longest
time.
flight you've been on? 10 hours? 10, 11?
Oh yeah, probably 10
Yeah.
max.
Have you
14,
been?
I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Have you gone to China or whatever?
Germany's
bro.
14.
Germany's 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been to Germany, but from
No,
Europe.
from-
From Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
so-
Long ass flight.
I did Hong Kong.
How long is that?
13.
From here? From Florida?
San Francisco.
San
That's when you
Francisco.
take two. Naps.
I went the other way.
That's when you take 2 naps, and you're
I
still
went over
east?
Russia.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Because you go over Alaska. You go over the top.
Oh, wait. No, you took off from San Francisco.
From San
Okay.
Francisco.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Otherwise, it would have been.
We should get a lot of flack from our flat Earth believers here on this.
Oh, yeah. So, but just imagine this leg alone is 20.
20, and you're
20.
20,
And it's
you're
just like an iron.
and you're sitting in
It's just an iron thing.
and a metal
Fred's
thing
like shitting in
with
the
a,
back.
with a bedpan. Yeah, it's like, what do you eat? Like, you bring food, like provision? You eat
Of
beef
course.
jerky?
Yeah, of
Like the whole
course.
time. Like,
20
Of
hours?
course. You probably have multiple meals.
how does she have to stay away? Who can stay away for 20 hours?
That's a good point.
I know.
Dude, I
What's
drank
the
a
longest that you've driven? Like on a road trip? Yourself. Yourself.
I've done.
a lot. So,
No, I did to LA myself.
No, but the
LA?
whole- the
From
whole
here?
way.
From
The whole
Florida?
one way. Like,
One
one
way.
trip.
From Florida.
No, nonstop.
I did it in 42 hours.
No, you wouldn't drive for 42 hours straight.
No, you didn't.
Eric.
You didn't. You
No, I
didn't.
stopped for 6 hours, and I stopped multiple times. Every state I stopped.
Yo, you could
for
stop.
an hour or two.
You could stop, but I'm saying like
With no stops.
no sleep. No sleep.
What-
Without sleeping, I'm saying.
Without
what's the,
sleep.
What's the longest you've driven?
42 hours.
You didn't
No
sleep for
fucking
42
way.
hours.
I 100%. I was
This is
18 years
bullshit.
old.
This is a fucking conspiracy.
Ask
Yeah,
anybody.
that's a
This is
conspiracy.
a fucking conspiracy.
I drove
On our
from
next
LA.
episode.
Yeah,
Tune in.
Eric's a liar.
Ask anybody. You could do it. I actually did it really long. You can actually do it
pretty
in
crazy,
35 hours. You could do it in 30 hours, 35 hours. But I did it. I stopped at Denny's and sat there with a coffee for 2 hours. Just,
No way. Okay, I've from
I'm not
someone.
kidding. I did it. I was 18 years
listen,
old.
I
I
was like,
couldn't
from-
do it now.
from-
Yeah, you're right. Totally. It was.
Most I've done.
But that's the point.
Most I've done
you know.
myself by myself straight was I'm pretty sure it was 16 hours.
Yeah. And it gets wild, right? Like
Oh,
it
it's
gets,
fucking crazy.
you're seeing things. You're
No,
kind
yeah.
of like
Yeah, by the end, it's
not
like
like you're
delusional.
seeing aliens or UFOs because those don't exist, but like you're seeing.
Well, they exist only 4 times
Yeah,
in our
yeah.
lifetime of
What
the
it-
whole, of
yeah,
the
four
planet.
times
Of the planet.
Well, I mean, I think I told my UFO story
Yeah.
on an early
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Dude, that shit was the fact that my dad also
That might have been
who's a believer.
That might have been one of the 4 times.
That was number 5. that was the 5th time. That was the 4th
One
time.
of the 4
Could have
times.
been one of the 4. All right, so that's where Sean's at. Where are you at?
You know what gets me is okay. By the time this happened, the navigator had navigated them throughout the whole
planet,
time.
pretty much the whole. You
The whole
have the
planet.
map. You had the map.
Yes, I have it here on my phone.
It's
We're going to
almost-
share it with you guys.
Look at how close that is to being done.
Like so you know, as the more I thought about it, I'm like, he's a good navigator.
Pan Am.
You know? At first I was thinking,
quit.
but I don't know. I actually don't know how easy it is to make like a simple mistake like that. Because you got to think about, okay, navigating over land and over sea, maybe it's not the same thing, right?
Maybe there's a storm.
It's a different animal. Yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I think is probably the most probable is he just fucked up on
navigation.
Navigation on the way there.
No one's 100% all the time.
Yeah.
Not Frankie.
Yeah. Well, Frankie was lucky to get 60%.
I gotta say, I'm proud of you two. I feel like you guys have turned a corner. And you guys have super grounded arguments, grounded theories, and you've really from episode 1. You guys have really come across. But
he's also probably saying that because he's about to agree with us.
No, he's only saying that because this is like out of our 60-something episodes. This is like one of 2 that we've been natural causes. Yeah. It's like fucking clerical error.
Here's what I think happened, and I hope it happened. I think she made it to an island.
The other one, the South
Gardner.
Dude, if we're talking about what I hope happened, I hope she was a spy. That would be fucking sick. They should make a movie about that. I hope she's a spy.
No. If I had to be specific, I bet she made it to an island, but she was injured, and then she just died pretty quickly.
She got cannibalized.
So she crashed on the water.
Yeah,
and then
she made it somehow.
She was close enough to the other island that she was able to swim there.
But she was injured.
What about Frankie?
Dude, he died.
Frankie died a long time
Frankie
ago.
died before the crash.
Yeah, he died a long time ago. Plane landed right on him. Sorry, Frank.
The plane right on top. Somehow he was in the water before the plane the crash. The fucking goddamn it, Frank.
You know what's cool is that nowadays we have the black box.
But sometimes they lose that shit.
Yeah,
like where is it?
Somehow.
I know magically.
By the way, we got to do an episode on that flight that.
The Malaysian flight.
We have to do that one.
Somehow
they still haven't found that
disappeared.
Shit,
it's like Jack Ma.
And they got dude, I know because the fucking Xi Jinping is the greatest thing that ever happened to the Chinese Republic.
Okay, guys, that's what we got tonight. I just wanted to do a shout out to some of our new Patreons, and we say it a lot, but it actually keeps the show going.
Literally, it's the lifeblood of the show.
This is not
we are not independently wealthy
individuals.
Exactly.
And it doesn't, I don't know if you're in the podcast world, but it's only 0.5% of all podcasts actually make profit.
Survive, yeah.
And, so it's really appreciated. So just going to do a couple shout outs. You guys ready? Evelyn, Nathan, Allie, Marie, Shannon, Amber, Michelle, that Pringles can, false flag, John Wick, Mariah. Oh man, Mariah's been a long-term fan. Kevin, Jake, recently Mac, Shauna, the new member, and also Gamer Dave is one of our big supporters, and he just moved up to rich person supporter.
Dave. Gamer Dave moved it to rich person, but he was already an honorary rich person.
Yeah, and he helps us a lot on a lot of different things. So we really appreciate it. Those are the recent ones. So our community is building, and we really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
We love you, and as always.
I don't think you mentioned Patreon though.
Oh, we did in the beginning. Yeah, in the beginning.
I don't think you said the word Patreon.
No, he did in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I missed it.
He did.
My bad.
Patreon.
But anyways, before I was rudely interrupted, as always, night-night.